Hello Internet! Since I am doing this first rhetorical analysis on Dan Howell's Twitter, I thought I would take a cue from him and make it a YouTube video. Unlike Dan, I don't have professional lighting or a fancy camera, so we're gonna have to work with what we've got. To start off, let me just give you a little bit of background information about who Dan Howell is, in case you don't know. Dan is a professional YouTube video creator and vlogger and radio presenter who lives in London, England, and is from England. He makes his living making videos on YouTube, and also he hosts a radio show every Sunday on BBC Radio 1 with his friend Phil. Dan's YouTube channel, which is called Dan Is Not on Fire, has over 3 million subscribers, and almost all of his YouTube videos have reached over 1 million views. But this rhetorical analysis is not actually on Dan's YouTube channel, but it's on his Twitter. The first question that the rhetorical analysis assignment asks is, how is this profile effective or ineffective? And I believe that Dan's Twitter is extremely effective for 3 reasons: because it allows for his fans to interact with him, it showcases his personality, and it also allows him to advertise for his YouTube videos. Dan interacts with his fans on Twitter in multiple ways. The first way is by replying directly to them, which you can see in this example here, in which he answers a question. Dan also sometimes tweets at all his fans, asking for their opinions on certain subjects, as you can see in this picture. This direct communication between Dan and his fans allows them to feel like they can connect with him. It uses Twitter and the internet as an equalizer, and it permits people from all around the world who watch Dan's videos or just follow his Twitter to talk to him virtually, in a way. Obviously, Dan can't answer every single question or comment that he receives on Twitter, but the idea that he might someday eventually respond is part of the reason why his 973,706 followers keep replying to him and following him every day. Dan's Twitter also effectively serves as a place where he can showcase his personality. However, his personality isn't just his natural personality that he exhibits in real life, but rather it aligns with the internet personality that he's created through his YouTube videos primarily, and then later his entire online presence through other social media outlets like his Twitter and Facebook. Dan's Twitter heading claims that he is an internet cult leader, as you can see in this picture. This idea presented in his Twitter heading aligns with his YouTube header, the header for his YouTube channel, which claims that his channel is to be used as an internet support group. And you can see that picture here. Almost everything about Dan's internet personality calls direct attention to the fact that he has a connection with the internet. His most viewed video, which is called How to Speak Internet, has 6,659,542 views as of when I last checked. Dan's YouTube videos also profile him as a somewhat lazy, irony-loving, awkward man in his early 20s, and his Twitter aligns with all of these traits. If you take a look at this tweet here, we can see Dan referring to what he calls a typical Dan Howell moment, which is a moment in his life that aligns, obviously, with the personality that he's constructed and that his fans know and love. It's hard to tell what aspects of Dan's personality are genuine and what aspects have been generated to entice more followers and YouTube subscribers, but in this case, since Dan is an internet personality and makes his living off of the internet, and that's all we ever see from him, the distinction is almost irrelevant. Another thing that Dan uses his Twitter for is to advertise his YouTube videos to his Twitter followers, and thus get more videos on his YouTube videos because of the traffic coming from his Twitter. Because Dan makes money off of the ad revenue from his YouTube videos and presumably doesn't make money from his Twitter, this is an important business strategy for him, especially considering the fact that the subscription box on YouTube is notoriously terrible. Here is a tweet that Dan wrote recently to advertise a link to one of his newest videos. Okay, the next two questions in the rhetorical analysis assignment I'm going to combine slightly. The questions are, what is the best thing that this profile does, and is the profile consistent? And I'm combining these two questions because I believe that the best thing about Dan's profile is its consistency. Dan has created a very specific and concrete internet personality through various social media sites. And it provides him with a somewhat narrow set of personality traits to work with while still allowing him to remain relatable and also interesting. He also maintains a fairly consistent tone. One of my personal favorite tweets from Dan is pictured right here. And this particular tweet acknowledges a running joke between Dan and his YouTube subscribers, the joke being that he is always wearing black and never wears any other colors. However, the joke is still relatable and humorous to people that don't subscribe to his channel or don't even know about it yet and just follow him on Twitter. In my opinion, there's no questioning that Dan definitely writes his tweets himself. He doesn't have anyone else write them. So it's again difficult to tell if the consistency within his profile is because he has a very consistent natural personality or if it is his internet created personality, but obviously I believe that it's much more likely that it's the second one. Most human beings aren't as simple as the internet person that Dan exhibits online. And sometimes to me this makes him seem sort of one-dimensional, but in another way, the consistency within his profile is also a good thing for his fans because it makes him seem genuine in that he's always sort of saying similar things, so it makes him seem like he's being truthful when he says one thing because he says it multiple times, and dependable also, and it also makes him seem like someone who doesn't change and can be consistently relatable. The thing that Dan's Twitter, I think, shows us about the way that Twitter can be used is that it shows us that you can make a living off of your personality if you craft it very carefully. There are reality TV personalities, radio personalities, and now internet personalities, and oddly enough, or ironically enough, Dan actually makes his living off of two of those, the radio and internet. Twitter itself might not allow people to sustain themselves because it doesn't have ads. Well, it does. I wonder if you can do that. I don't know. I've never heard of someone sustaining themselves particularly in that way. But it definitely allows people to become famous, and because of this allows them to take their fame and use it to make money in another way. And lastly, one of the rhetorical devices that Dan uses on his Twitter is that of irony. Dan often talks in his YouTube videos, on his Tumblr, etc., about his love of irony, his love of taking popular phrases that he finds annoying and using them as a joke, such as with the phrase YOLO. Irony itself has a definition that people like to argue over all the time and seem to get confused about, and I myself have some trouble deciphering what irony is sometimes, but I'm pretty sure that saying the word / the phrase YOLO, and even though it's a phrase you don't like, to be funny does not actually count as irony, Dan. However, in this tweet we can see an actual example of irony in the form of sarcasm, where Dan congratulates himself on being awkward. So that was my first rhetorical analysis. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Not really. This is just what Dan does at the end of his videos. You won't see me next time. I'll put a link to one of my favorite Dan videos in the description so that you can watch it if you've never seen his videos before.